The Bold and the Beautiful. Spoilers. March 23rd, April 3rd. I was thinking, these next 2 weeks on The Bold and the Beautiful are shaping up to be wild. Some relationships will deepen, some are on the rocks, and there's a whole lot of secret-keeping that's bound to blow up in everyone's faces. Here's what I noticed. Ivy, Dylan, and the manipulation game. From March 23 to 27, Ivy Forrester seems determined to keep Dylan Spencer quiet. Dylan doesn't know all the details of how Ivy manipulated Will Spencer and Electra Forrester, but she's overheard enough of Ivy's scheming with Daphne Rose to know something's off. Ivy might argue that if Dylan spills the beans, Will and Electra could reunite, leaving Dylan out in the cold. And honestly, Dylan might just stay silent. She's growing closer to Will and looks like she's well on her way to becoming his girlfriend. RJ and Electra. A private dinner sparks drama. Meanwhile, RJ Forrester invites Electra for a private dinner at the Forrester mansion, and things could get flirty. Electra even goes swimming with RJ and snaps some selfies together. I was wondering, how long before Will sees those posts? If he does, it might finally give him the push to pursue Dylan seriously. So, a passionate moment between Will and Dylan could be right around the corner. Deacon and Taylor. Passion at the Cliff House. Speaking of passion, Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes are about to give in to theirs at the Cliff House. But just when they can't resist each other anymore, Sheila Sharp shows up. I didn't realize how messy this could get. Sheila might bring a bouquet, maybe thank Taylor again for helping her marriage. But, classic soap moment, what if the door isn't locked? Sheila could walk in and catch Deacon in Taylor's bed. Or maybe Taylor hides him, and Sheila suspects someone is cheating anyway. Probably Ridge, since that's a predictable mix-up in soap world. Either way, drama is guaranteed. And if Steffy Forrester Finnegan finds out, she might finally enforce that family ban she's been threatening Taylor with. This could get heated. Daphne and Carter. Romance and secrets. Daphne and Carter Walton will carve out some romantic time, but I feel like Carter might sense Daphne is holding something back. Eventually, she could spill the truth about Ivy's manipulation of Will and Electra. I think he'll insist that everyone deserves to know. Brooke versus Katie. Feuds and power plays. The week of March 30th, April 3rd, brings more tension between Brooke and Katie Logan Spencer. I was thinking, with dirty moves and power plays, their feud might hit a new level. Even with all the family drama, Bill Spencer is focused on the bigger picture. Moving forward with the full collection after the mini collection's success. He seems determined to make Logan a major fashion player, no matter the chaos around him. Dylan's dilemma. Back to Dylan, she could feel torn as she grows closer to Will. Knowing Ivy's plot to break up Will and Electra puts her in a tricky spot. But it looks like keeping the secret might be her only option if she wants to stay close to Will. All in all, the next 2 weeks promise shocking twists, heated confrontations, and some messy, juicy soap drama. I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. I've been thinking about the latest twists on The Bold and the Beautiful, and it looks like Steffy Forrester Finnegan is really gearing up to prove she's serious about protecting her family. Steffy has repeatedly warned Taylor Hayes to cut ties with Deacon Sharp, but so far, those warnings don't seem to be sinking in. It feels like Steffy may soon have to take more drastic action if Taylor keeps pushing boundaries. She's made it clear that if Taylor doesn't end things with Deacon, she could be cut off from the family entirely. And for Steffy, this isn't just about rules. It's about keeping Sheila Sharp from finding out and causing chaos, especially for the kids. Protecting Kelly Spencer and Hayes Finnegan is non-negotiable, at least from Steffy's perspective. Taylor's desires, though, seem to be overpowering her judgment. Based on the week of March 23-27 previews, it looks like she's planning a rendezvous with Deacon at the Cliff House. The audacity! After sneaking around in her office, now she's taking things into her daughter's home. And of course, Sheila Sharp is shown arriving at the door in the preview clip. Whether she witnesses the drama firsthand or not, it seems inevitable that Steffy will find out one way or another. I wouldn't be surprised if she comes home to chaos or demands the truth from Taylor, because either scenario is bound to spark serious conflict. I think Steffy might reach a breaking point and make it clear that Taylor can't stay on the property if she's putting everyone at risk. That could finally trigger the family ban Steffy has been warning about, potentially pushing Taylor out and limiting her access to the kids. Looking ahead, it seems Steffy and Taylor have plenty more conflict in store. To me, this storyline is heating up in a way that's going to test loyalties, boundaries, and how far Steffy is willing to go to protect her family. The Bold and the Beautiful is never short on romantic drama, but interestingly, not every character has a love life to speak of. Some are left single, quietly observing everyone else's chaos. To me, it seems like a few of these lonely hearts deserve some attention, and maybe some sparks of their own. Here are 3 characters who could really use a romance, and how I think B&B might shake things up in the coming months. 1. Deke Sharp. Stuck in romantic limbo, Deke Sharp's love life has been complicated. He was happy with Remy Price, at least until her secrets came out. When it was revealed that Remy had been stalking Electra Forrester, Deke understandably recoiled and put some distance between them. Now, Remy seems eager to reconnect. Should Deke give her another shot? To me, it feels like he's at a crossroads. He could either try to rekindle the old flame or finally move on. Honestly, even if he decides Remy isn't the one, I'd love to see Deke explore a new romance. He deserves it. 2. Zende Forrester Dominguez. Where's the girlfriend? Zende is the full package. Handsome, smart, and undeniably Forrester. So why is he single? It feels almost criminal to leave him off-screen without a love interest. There are plenty of female Forrester employees who would probably love a date with him, but I'm curious if B&B might pair him with someone more significant, maybe a character we wouldn't expect. Zende deserves happiness, and I have a feeling the writers might finally give him a storyline that includes love. 3. Ivy Forrester. Time for her own romance. If anyone needs a love life, it's Ivy Forrester. Right now, her obsession with steering Electra's romantic choices is, well, it's getting out of hand. Daphne Rose even called her out, suggesting Ivy should focus on RJ Forrester herself. But Ivy already shoved Electra in RJ's direction, so that ship has sailed. What Ivy really needs is someone of her own, someone to focus on and maybe distract her from everyone else's love life. If she could start dating, it might finally free her from meddling in Electra's affairs and give viewers a fresh romantic angle to enjoy. The Bold and the Beautiful always has surprises up its sleeve, and I think these characters are due for some. Whether it's rekindled flames or brand new crushes, the coming months could bring plenty of romance, drama, and unexpected twists. The moment of truth has finally arrived on The Bold and the Beautiful. In Wednesday's episode, Dylan stumbled upon a shocking revelation. Ivy has been manipulating both Will and Electra to keep them apart, and for once the underdog didn't shy away. Dylan confronted Electra's venomous aunt head-on, proving she's not as powerless as everyone assumes. I think Dylan is definitely intimidated by Ivy, actress Sydney Bullock told Soaps.com. Ivy carries so much more weight and influence in this town than Dylan does. She has money, connections with all of Dylan's friends, and a successful career. Dylan doesn't have any of that, but she's not completely scared of her either. Armed with this damning knowledge, Dylan can't stay silent. The irony is delicious. Ivy has spent months accusing Dylan of things she never did, and now Dylan is turning the tables, confronting Ivy about the very schemes she actually pulled off. Ivy initially misconstrued everything between Dylan and Will, Bullock explains. She wants the chance to defend herself and clear her name, but she also knows she needs the right moment to do it. That moment may have finally come. With Ivy's manipulations fully exposed, Dylan is ready to call her out. But the big question remains, will Dylan reveal everything to Will and Electra? Doing so could open Electra's eyes to her aunt's treachery and potentially drive her back into Will's arms, complicating Dylan's own romantic pursuits. It's a high-stakes game of truth and consequences, and for Dylan, the fallout could change everything. In real life, sure, we get it. Sisters fight. Families squabble. That's normal. But on The Bold and the Beautiful, the feud between Katie and Brooke has been dialed up so high that it's no longer just sibling rivalry. We might actually be witnessing the birth of a full-blown supervillain, Brooke. Now, let's be honest. Was Katie morally in the clear for using Eric's designs after he dashed back to Forrester Creations? Maybe that's a gray area. But legally? She was completely within her rights. Bill even pointed out that the line was purchased and paid for in full, and Brooke's outrage over Katie using their shared last name for her fashion house? Misplaced, to say the least. If anyone deserved the yelling, it's Carter for letting the trademark slip. But Brooke is so used to getting her way that she's escalating this fight to levels of sheer nastiness. She's convinced Katie's fashion venture is doomed, yet instead of letting it fail on its own, she's determined to crush it herself. Calling it the disgusting little fashion house is a bit much, even for Brooke. Viewers have noticed. Comments from Monday's recap were filled with disbelief. "OMG, has she ever been more insufferable?" wrote one fan. Another pointed out the irony. Brooke used to worry so much about Katie's heart condition. Now she seems completely indifferent. And then there's the darker speculation. Could Brooke try to seduce Bill just to prove a point to Katie? That move could unravel Katie's marriage and maybe even Ridge's. But honestly, in this soap, everyone's hearts are destined to collide and reunite eventually. To me, Brooke's behavior feels extra, even for her. I can't help but wonder if she's enjoying being this awful just a little too much. Is anyone else seeing it this way? Or am I being too hard on her? The latest Bold and the Beautiful spoilers hint at a steamy new romance on the horizon, and I can't help but wonder who's about to get tangled up in love. With all the drama happening, especially thanks to Ivy Forrester's meddling, things are about to get very complicated. Ivy has been obsessively involved in Electra Forrester's love life. I get it, she's protective of her niece, but sometimes it feels like she's taking it way too far. I can't help but wonder if this behavior comes from her own heartbreak. Could Ivy's failed relationship with Liam Spencer be the root of her animosity toward all things Spencer? To me, it looks like her past is coloring everything she does now. Meanwhile, Electra is still hung up on Will Spencer and seems desperate to get back together. But with Ivy scheming behind the scenes, that's looking harder than ever. And then there's RJ Forrester. Could Electra and RJ end up in bed together? Or is her lingering love for Will too strong for her to even consider it? Enter Melissa Dillon. She's clearly drawn to Will, and it seems like he might be vulnerable enough to reciprocate, especially if Ivy's manipulations convince him that Electra and RJ are already together. If that happens, Will might find comfort with Dillon, even though his heart is still tied to Electra. What makes it even juicier is that Dillon is now working at Forrester Creations. Could she discover the truth about Ivy's scheming and try to warn Electra? I have a feeling Electra might not believe her, which could push Dillon and Will even closer, possibly into bed. The question is, will Electra's refusal to listen end up fueling a new forbidden romance? Meanwhile, the preview for next week shows Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp growing closer. I can't help but speculate. Will they finally give in to their desires and consummate their relationship? Things get even more intense with Sheila Sharp lurking nearby, holding a bouquet of flowers and peering through the window. Could she catch Deacon and Taylor in the act? And if she does, will she wait for the perfect moment to exact revenge? With so much tension and secrecy, it's clear that a new couple is about to hook up. I'm left wondering, who do you think deserves to find romance next in this twisted web of love, lies, and Forrester drama? Spring is bringing some serious romance to the Bold and the Beautiful this week. From March 23-27, sparks are flying, hearts are racing, and a few secrets might just be exposed. Here's what caught my eye. Daphne has been so caught up in Ivy's antics at work that she's barely had a moment to herself. But this week, she finally shifts her focus to her husband, Carter. The couple shares a romantic evening that quickly heats up behind closed doors. Daphne teases Carter as she undresses him, and honestly, married life looks very good on them. Could this passionate night be paving the way for a baby Walton? I'm thinking it's possible. Carter and Daphne seem more ready than ever to start a family. Meanwhile, Ivy's scheming is in full swing. Her plan to keep Electra away from Will is working like a charm. Now that Will and Electra are done, Ivy is nudging RJ to step up, and RJ isn't wasting any time. He's helping a heartbroken Electra heal, taking her swimming at the Forrester mansion and snapping playful selfies together. As they compliment each other's photos, the longing glances are hard to miss. Of course, Ivy is watching their budding closeness with pure delight. To her, RJ is clearly a better match for Elektra, but I can't help wondering how long Ivy's joy will last once Daphne, and now Dylan, start piecing together her manipulations. Things could get messy very quickly, and then there's Deacon and Taylor. After months of resisting, they finally give in. Taylor, looking stunning in lingerie, shares a passionate moment with Deacon as he confesses his love. Nothing, it seems, can keep them apart. But just as they're caught up in the heat of the moment, Sheila shows up at Taylor's door with flowers, hoping to thank her for saving her marriage. No one answers, so Sheila peeks through the window, and that's when things could go terribly wrong. Is this the moment Sheila discovers Deacon's affair? Or will Taylor and Deacon slip past yet another close call? I have a feeling this week is going to be juicy. The drama at Forrester Creations is heating up again on The Bold and the Beautiful, and this time, it's a full-blown clash among the Logans, Forresters, and Spencers. At the center of it all, Eric Forrester, played by John McCook, who seems more determined than ever to hold his ground. In a recent chat with TV Insider, McCook opened up about why he's so committed to keeping Eric strong. He made it clear that he never wanted his character portrayed as weak or powerless, a man unable to defend himself or make bold choices. In fact, it was his decision not to retire and to reclaim his place at Forrester Creations that ignited this multi-family war. "I don't want to play into this old or weak place where he has no strength to come back or fight," McCook explained. "I'm constantly working to keep Eric as strong as I can, rather than letting him stay defeated, sad, and embarrassed about what happened." So yes, Eric still has plenty of fight left in him. But not everyone agrees with how he's handling the drama. Some fans argue that Eric is acting like a victim in the Logan design feud, and that he's partly to blame for how things spiraled. Others are frustrated with the way the writers handled his choices, especially leaving Katie hanging while she's forced to use his designs, despite his indecision. Even with the criticism, McCook is just happy to be part of the storyline. He admits, though, that less screen time does sting, especially after decades on the show. "I've been on the show for 39 years. I know I'm the older guy, but I don't like seeing so many episodes go by without Eric in the office or involved in the storyline," he said. At 82, McCook is still pushing for Eric to have a bigger presence at Forrester Creations and in the hearts of B&B fans. One thing is clear, this veteran soap star isn't ready to fade into the background anytime soon. So, what's next for Eric? Will he finally reclaim his power and navigate the family feud on his own terms? To me, the most exciting part is seeing how Eric's strength and stubbornness will continue to shake up the Forrester universe. Brooke has officially declared war on Katie on The Bold and the Beautiful, and I don't think that's a throwaway threat. To me, it feels like Brooke might be slipping back into the more ruthless side of herself, but the big question is, how exactly does she plan to get revenge on her sister this time? It all started during Logan's big debut, when Brooke, Ridge, and Eric crashed the event. Their goal? To sabotage the whole thing. They claimed that Bill and Katie had stolen Eric's designs, turning what was supposed to be Katie's moment into total chaos. Bill, of course, wasn't having it. He argued that the designs now legally belonged to Logan, and there was nothing they could do. Meanwhile, the press conference, which was meant to shine a spotlight on Katie, ended up focusing on Eric. Reporters wanted to know where his loyalties really lay. Logan or Forrester Creations? At that point, Bill grabbed the mic to try and stop things from spiraling further. But Brooke wasn't done. She pulled Katie aside and told her she had humiliated Eric, warning her that she could regret it. And then came the bold declaration, "This is war." Hearing that line, I started thinking, Brooke is showing a side of herself we haven't really seen in a while. Lately, her storylines have mostly revolved around her decades-long love triangle with Ridge and Taylor. Even when she's not with Ridge, she's been the show's wise, steady matriarch. But now, she might be stepping out of that role, at least temporarily, to become the next major villain. Brooke didn't hold back. She said she plans to put an end to Katie and her little fashion house. So how could she actually pull it off? My guess is that Brooke and Ridge might turn to Carter to file a lawsuit against Logan, arguing that Katie shouldn't be using Eric's designs since he's no longer part of the company. I don't think they'll sit back until they get exactly what they want. And let's be honest, Katie might be in trouble here. Using the Logan name is one thing, but taking Eric's designs without a signed contract? That could land her in serious hot water. To me, this sets up a showdown that could get messy and fun to watch. Brooke declaring war is a big move, and I can't help but wonder who will come out on top. I'm leaning toward Brooke, but knowing this show, surprises are around every corner. The bold and the beautiful, secrets, schemes, and emotional explosions await. I've been thinking about Monday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, and honestly, things are getting tense. Ivy Forrester is really leaning into her manipulative streak, and it's fascinating, in a can't-look-away kind of way. Meanwhile, Dylan finds herself in a tough spot, forced to decide whether staying silent is worth the cost. From my perspective, Ivy isn't even trying to hide her scheming anymore. She knows Dylan overheard more than she should have, and instead of denying it, she takes a strategic approach. She pressures Dylan to keep quiet, making it clear that speaking up could have serious consequences. I can't help but wonder if Dylan will go along out of fear, loyalty, or just pure desperation. Her job at Forrester Creations is still new, and I imagine the idea of losing financial stability makes the choice even harder. To me, Dylan's dilemma is the kind that could haunt her. Keeping Ivy's secret might protect her career, but it also means letting a web of manipulation continue to spiral. I'm thinking the guilt might hit harder than she anticipates. Sometimes the secret itself can be more toxic than the truth. Then there's Will Spencer, caught in the middle of all this drama. He's navigating complicated feelings for Elektra while simultaneously feeling a growing connection to Dylan. Ivy's interference only muddies the waters, and I can see Will starting to sense that something's off. If he starts asking the right questions, the truth could come crashing down in a way that leaves everyone reeling. Monday's episode seems like the calm before an emotional storm. With hidden motives, tangled loyalties, and simmering tensions, the stage is set for confrontations that could reshape relationships across Forrester Creations. Will Dylan finally break the silence, or will she continue playing along with Ivy's plan? The answer could change everything. If you ask me, fans should brace themselves. Emotional revelations, unexpected shifts, and shocking twists are right around the corner. Forrester Creations is a ticking time bomb, and no one knows exactly which fuse will be lit next. The Bold and the Beautiful. Spoilers. Ivy Forrester's schemes stir the pot. I think Ivy Forrester is about to stir up even more drama on The Bold and the Beautiful. During the week of March 23-27, it looks like Ivy won't stop meddling, especially when it comes to RJ Forrester and Elektra Forrester. To me, it seems Ivy is determined to push them together. But the question is, will her matchmaking actually work? Ivy has been keeping a close eye on RJ and Elektra, and she's noticing that Elektra is finally starting to loosen up around RJ. To her delight, her efforts appear to be paying off. Things heat up when RJ and Elektra share a playful moment in the Forrester pool, even snapping selfies together in their bathing suits. Of course, this social media activity isn't without consequences. Will Spencer is bound to notice, and I can't help but wonder if this will push him closer to Miss Dylan. Could a single post be the spark that leads Will into Dylan's arms, or even further? Meanwhile, how far will RJ and Elektra let their newfound connection go? But Elektra isn't the only complication in Will and RJ's tangled lives. RJ is actively trying to get Will fired from Forrester Creations, believing that Will has wronged Elektra. While RJ initially wants to comfort her, it's clear he's drawn to her romantically and might be looking for more than friendship. Will, on his side, is doing everything he can to win Elektra back. He's made heartfelt pleas to put the past behind them, but Ivy is always lurking, ready to undermine their progress. Even after Elektra overhears Ivy arguing with Daphne Rose, she still doesn't fully realize her aunt's manipulations. I get the sense that Ivy won't stop lying and scheming to keep Elektra away from Will. If her plan succeeds, Will might be pushed into making a choice he can't undo. Seeing RJ and Elektra's poolside photos could drive him straight into Dylan's waiting arms, a desire she's had from the start. So, will Ivy get exactly what she wants once RJ and Elektra's innocent social media moment fuels rumors of a romance? Will Will and Dylan cross the line while RJ and Elektra's connection grows? It looks like this week could set the stage for some serious heartbreak and shocking twists. The bold and the beautiful fans should brace for Ivy's scheming to shake up relationships and alliances in ways no one sees coming. The latest The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers suggest that Ivy Forrester might just be living up to the poison in her name. Honestly, I think she's starting to out-creep even Sheila Carter, and that's saying a lot. At first, there was talk that Ivy's involvement in Elektra Forrester's love life was all about uncovering a possible biological connection. But now, it seems to me she might just be fixated on all the young men around her, especially Will Spencer and RJ Forrester. To me, she's taking obsession to a whole new level, and it's unsettling to say the least. Fans on social media definitely had a lot to say about Ivy's latest antics. One viewer wrote, "Loved the way Dylan stood up to Little Miss Snot-Nose Elektra today. That was fun. But Ivy pushing RJ toward Elektra is so creepy. International playboy for your niece? Yuck." I think that really sums up the mix of fascination and horror we're feeling watching her schemes unfold. Another fan added, "Her talking about RJ's muscles to nudge him toward Elektra was actually cringe. That creeped me out. Can someone explain how Elektra is her niece? How they're both Forresters? And why does Ivy have an accent? I still don't like her character." I didn't realize how many viewers were thrown off by those details. It's interesting how the little things can make a character feel so different. Some viewers were more reflective. "I don't remember much about her character other than she dated either Liam or Wyatt, or maybe both. She seemed more behind the scenes before. I don't remember her having this level of obsession. Have they changed her personality since she was last on the show?" I think that's a fair question. To me, Ivy feels sharper, more calculating, almost like she's been rewritten to push boundaries we didn't expect. One thing's for sure, fans will need to tune in every day to see just how far Ivy will go. The Bold and the Beautiful airs weekdays on CBS. And from what I can tell, there's a lot more drama and a lot more poison coming our way. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers hint at an increasingly intriguing connection between Steffy Forrester and Dylan. From the moment they met, there's been an undeniable closeness between them. But the question is, why? Dylan has always been secretive about her past, especially when it comes to her parents. She was clearly remorseful after the tragic incident with Luna Nozawa, but there's something deeper going on. Why does she care so much about Steffy's approval? Since arriving in Los Angeles, Steffy has gone out of her way to support Dylan. What started as a simple teacher-student relationship with Steffy's son quickly grew into something much more significant, especially after the chaos surrounding Luna's disappearance. Even when Dylan's life became complicated and she tried to keep parts of it hidden, Steffy has remained protective and invested. Dylan insists her mother lives in the Midwest and knows nothing about her life in LA. But what if that's not the whole story? Could Dylan have a connection to Steffy that goes far beyond friendship? I can't help but wonder, what if Dylan is Steffy's child? Steffy has lived a life full of surprises, fast cars, fast loves, and more than a few secrets. We already know she struggled with Finn's past. His daughter from his college years threw her for a loop. But could Steffy herself be hiding a secret of her own? Imagine this: Steffy as a teenager, facing the impossible choice of pursuing her dreams and taking over Forrester Creations, or keeping a child she wasn't ready to raise. Could Dylan be that child, given up for adoption, yet unknowingly reunited with her mother in Los Angeles? Perhaps Steffy doesn't even realize it yet. And the parallels with Luna? They're uncanny. Luna came to LA seeking her father, only to spiral into chaos. Could Dylan have arrived for a similar reason, searching for her mother, only to become entangled in the Forrester family drama in unexpected ways? The ultimate irony would be if Dylan, Steffy's long-lost daughter, ended up responsible for Luna's death. Could she have known the truth and acted to protect her own path to the Forrester legacy? Dylan's motives remain a mystery, but one thing is clear. She's up to something, and it might be far more personal than anyone realizes. Could Dylan really be a secret Forrester heir? Could Steffy finally be confronting the consequences of a secret she's carried for decades? One thing is certain. If this theory holds true, the Forrester family dynamics are about to get even more explosive. Next week on The Bold and the Beautiful, things are getting hotter and more complicated than ever. From Monday, March 23rd to Friday, March 27th, 2026, viewers are in for a roller coaster of shocking discoveries, steamy rendezvous, and love sparks flying all over Los Angeles. I think the biggest bombshell might be Sheila finally walking in on something she's not supposed to see. Kimberlin Brown's Sheila comes perilously close to discovering Deacon and Taylor in a rather compromising situation. To me, it feels like Deacon simply can't resist temptation. Despite recommitting to Sheila, he finds himself in Taylor's arms, giving in to their undeniable chemistry. I was wondering if Sheila is about to explode when she calls out, "Is anybody home?" just outside their bedroom door. Inside, Taylor is unfazed by the danger of being caught, declaring to Deacon, "We fought this as hard as we could, but nothing is going to keep us apart." Honestly, it seems like Steffy's ultimatum and the threat of losing her family won't stop these two from indulging in their passion. Meanwhile, love is also spreading like wildfire across the Forrester universe. Newlyweds Carter and Daphne are heating things up in a scene that's all about intense chemistry. Daphne playfully tells Carter, "You're not going anywhere with what I have planned for you." And I think this is exactly what Carter needed after weeks of conflict with Ivy. It feels like a welcome reprieve from all the drama, and I can't help but wonder if this night might set the tone for their marriage. And the sparks don't stop there. Electra and RJ's are growing closer after her painful breakup with Will, and you can almost feel the tension crackling between them. Ivy seems determined to play matchmaker, telling Electra, RJ has a lot going for him, nudging her niece toward a new romance. The preview shows them exchanging compliments and lingering glances, and I think this might be the start of a serious connection, or at least a juicy storyline we can't look away from. Next week, it looks like temptation, romance, and a little bit of scheming are going to rule the Forrester world. I can't wait to see just how far Deacon and Taylor will go before Sheila finally finds out, and what new sparks might fly between the younger generation. Next week on The Bold and the Beautiful, things are about to get chaotic at Steffy and Finn's house. Previews show Deacon and Taylor getting ready to take things to the next level, right in Steffy and Finn's bed, just as Sheila shows up at the front door, flowers in hand. Yes, you heard that right. Flowers. Now pause for a second. What's even happening here? Why is Sheila visiting Taylor at Steffy and Finn's house? Is she really coming to see Finn? She's been shut out of their lives, and usually her visits are to Taylor's office, not someone else's home. And the flowers, are they a thank you gift for Taylor? Haven't we already seen Sheila thank Taylor, like a dozen times for encouraging Deacon to work on his marriage? How many thank yous does it take before it becomes a soap opera running gag? Fans are also scratching their heads over Taylor's bold move. After Steffy gave her a clear ultimatum, give up Deacon or lose her family. Why is Taylor risking it all by sneaking into Steffy and Finn's house to hook up with him? Where are Steffy, Finn, and the kids while this is happening? Are they on vacation? Or did they just leave the front door unlocked for drama purposes? And here's the real question. If Sheila opens that door and stumbles upon Deacon and Taylor, will they have locked themselves in the bedroom? Or will Sheila walk right into the scene? And what happens if Steffy and Finn return home at that exact moment? You can already feel the tension building. Friday's cliffhanger could be absolutely brutal. Steffy is already furious at the thought of Deacon and Taylor together. Remember, Sheila has a violent history with the Forrester women. And now we have the potential for not one, but two fire-breathing dragons in the same house. Steffy plus Sheila equals utter chaos. Now we know it's a soap opera, and logic often takes a back seat in LA. But seriously, there are hotels in this city. Deacon and Taylor could have taken their full steam-ahead energy somewhere private, where they knew they wouldn't risk Steffy going nuclear on them. Taylor has the means, Deacon probably does too. Yet here we are, and the writers are clearly leaning into maximum tension. Many longtime Taylor fans are a bit frustrated too. The Taylor of Hunter Tylo's era would never have been caught dead being attracted to Deacon. She was all about Ridge, and Deacon was all about Brooke. Now, they're behaving like two teenagers in heat. Meanwhile, Sheila, the true fire in this triangle, threatens to make the scene explode even further. And just for fun, imagine Ivy popping in during every steamy moment to say, "This is not proper. It's not proper at all." Honestly, it's exactly the kind of chaos this storyline deserves. Next week promises suspense, awkward confrontations, and more drama than you can shake a Forrester-sized stick at. If Sheila walks in, Steffy comes home, or both happen at once, well, let's just say soap opera history might be made. Next week on Bold and the Beautiful, things are getting seriously chaotic. Sheila Carter is up to her usual creeping, spying on both Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes. Meanwhile, Daphne Rose Walton is about to stir the pot. RJ Forrester is turning up the heat with Electra Forrester. And Ivy Forrester is, well, let's just say her scheming is reaching peak creepy levels. March 23rd is shaping up to be a wild week. Let's start with Electra and RJ. After a short week of episodes, thanks to those March Madness preemptions, we saw a tense showdown in the Forrester Creations showroom between Electra and Dylan. Electra accused Dylan of invading her life, manipulating her, and even interfering with Will Spencer. She told him straight up, "Do the right thing. Leave Forrester and never come back." Dylan tried to defend himself, pointing out that Steffy Forrester offered him the job, and he didn't exactly go looking for trouble. Electra wasn't having it. She clapped back that Dylan can't just step around her and hinted she should have said no long ago. Honestly, I'm a little annoyed Dylan didn't just come clean about knowing Electra kissed RJ. She's still holding on to that secret while trying to kick Dylan out. Classic soap tension. Meanwhile, Dylan overheard a confrontation between Daphne and Ivy, with Ivy scheming to manipulate Electra and Will into breaking up. I wouldn't be surprised if Ivy spins things back on Dylan, acting like she's the one being wronged. Dylan might even try to get answers from Daphne, but let's be real, she's not going to get the full story. Ivy's not the type to be helpful. She's going to get aggressive and probably lash out. Ivy's bigger plan is in motion. She wants to push Electra toward RJ and ensure she never reunites with Will. This week, Ivy told RJ that Electra is available for the right guy now that she and Will are split. She also trashed Will while flattering RJ, essentially egging him on to pursue Electra. Ivy didn't stop there. She griped about Dylan working at Forrester and seems determined to paint Electra as a victim while making Dylan look like the villain. I have a feeling Ivy will also try to get Steffy or Ridge Forrester to fire Dylan, and who knows? She might even go after Will's job next. Steffy has already told both Ivy and Electra to knock it off. But do you think they'll listen? Absolutely not. Next week promises more drama, scheming, and classic Forrester chaos. Get ready, it's about to get spicy. Next week at the Forrester mansion, Ivy is smirking like she's won the lottery with her latest scheme. And here's where it gets interesting. Electra invites RJ over to the Forrester home, where she's living with Ivy, Donna Logan, and Eric Forrester. Electra and RJ are taking selfies in their bathing suits, totally enjoying themselves, while, classic Ivy, she's lurking nearby, watching every move with a self-satisfied grin. To me, that's just creepy, and honestly, completely inappropriate. Then things heat up. Ivy is pushing Electra toward RJ, practically dangling him in front of her, saying he's got so much going for him. Sparks fly as RJ tells Electra she looks amazing, and she fires right back that he looks amazing too. Electra's smitten, making those big-eyed looks that scream, "I'm into you!" Clearly, RJ and Electra are spending more time together, and the chemistry is undeniable. But here's my thought. Someone needs to call out Ivy's disgusting behavior. Daphne, I'm looking at you. It's time to speak up, because what Ivy is doing is downright despicable. Meanwhile, Will is still in love with Electra, but I can already see him stumbling across those selfies she's taking with RJ. Considering he already saw them kiss, these new photos might just push him over the edge. At this point, I think Will is right to feel betrayed. Elektra is flaunting RJ in his face, and it's setting up an interesting dynamic. We could see Will leaning into Dylan, since he's shown romantic interest before, and Elektra has broken his heart. Will and Dylan have kissed a couple of times, so this could escalate. Elektra, of course, is determined to win Will back, but she may be tempted to spill what she overheard. I think it would be amazing if Dylan told Steffy, but more likely, he'd confide in Hope Logan for advice. Either way, Daphne really needs to open her mouth and expose Ivy's antics. And next week, things are heating up for Carter and Daphne too. Daphne seductively tells Carter he's not going anywhere with what she has planned, which sounds like a little sexy time for the newlyweds. Could a Carter and Daphne baby be on the horizon? Maybe, but the wildest spoilers involve Sheila, Taylor, and Deacon. If you remember, Steffy already told Deacon and Taylor they're done. Her classic "say goodbye, it's over" moment at her mom's office. Steffy is basically Ridge's mini-me, bossy, high-handed, and trying to parent her own mother. Predictably, her ultimatum is going to be ignored. Next week, Sheila shows up at Steffy's Malibu beach house, where Taylor lives, with a bouquet of flowers, calling out if anyone's home. Upstairs, we've got Deacon and a half-naked Taylor in bed. White bra and panties, emphasizing her good girl image, while Sheila is the bad girl lurking outside. Deacon tells Taylor that no one will keep them apart, and the two start making out. This lines up with earlier March spoilers. One couple is finally making love, and it looks like Taylor and Deacon are that couple. Sheila isn't going away quietly. She's been showing up at Taylor's office and peeking through windows, full-on creeper mode. Ivy and Sheila are both in peak creepy mode next week. The real shocker? Taylor is about to get frisky with Deacon at Steffy's house, right after Steffy's ultimatum. And promos suggest Sheila might walk in on them. Could she just let herself in like Brooke did at Thomas's house with Hope? Or maybe Steffy will answer the door instead, possibly walking in on her mom in bed with Deacon herself. Either way, chaos is guaranteed. Next week's episodes are shaping up to be pure drama, selfies, schemers, secret makeouts, and major betrayals. If you thought things were intense before, buckle up. Forrester Mansion is about to be a full-on soap opera battlefield.